The wonderful windy city of Chicago at Soldier Field in the site of our sports scarring moment today. In 2019, one of the NFL's most historic franchises, the Chicago Bears, looked like they were getting back to their monster of the midways, with a chance to win their first playoff game in almost a decade. And only needing a kick to win the game on their final drive, they lined it up only for a series of unfortunate events that never have been seen before to happen. And I brought in superfan Blair Cuts to break it down for y'all today. This is
Here it comes down one more time to a kicker.
Yeah, bro, it's like really talking about a breakup, nigga.
43-yard attempt and a right hash mark.
Oh, bro. Okay. I am Blair Cuts of Honor Club Media, and this is the 2019 game, also known as the Double Doink. Oh, the Double Doink game. So I was born in '90, so all I knew was everybody talking about the '85 season. And it really was just sweetness and the best defense ever. Living in the shadows of that championship team, and then with basketball being so prevalent and us having championships in the '90s, it sucked being a Bears fan, bro. It was not fun. And it's hard. It's really hard to be a Chicago sports fan because we have sweetness and we have Jordan.
a city that has housed arguably the greatest running back and greatest basketball player ever, seems to have been severely lacking in the most important position of all the sports, quarterback. And that makes me wonder, hey Blair, what's the worst quarterback you've seen in your over 30 years of being a Bears fan?
The worst quarterback in Bears history is Jay Cutler because he quit.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot that happened. Care to expound?
He quit when he had a team. We were in the playoffs. He had the chance to be the guy. He was the closest to 4,000 yards, which the Bears being one of the oldest franchises, us still not having a quarterback reach over 4,000 yards is a shock. Everything set up for him, I feel like, defensively, offensively. The second some turmoil came, he showed that he was a Vanderbilt kid, show his true colors, and to truly just give up on every player that all players are hurt. And at that time of the season, you can't name one player that isn't going through something that's been lingering since week 8. So for him to see a win in hand and then say, nah, it's not for me. Yeah.
And we're not even at the best part of QB purgatory for the Bears yet. Not too long before this sports scarring moment happened, they made yet another big pick at quarterback in the draft. And I'll let Blair explain the rest to you.
The from a basketball school, Mitch, he has the name of an accountant. His name is Mitchell. He had one single solid season of football, and the Bears front office was like, that's our guy. Now, in hindsight's hindsight. But at the time, Deshaun Watson was a great fucking quarterback, and I was more than excited to sit and watch us pick him. And then when I saw the draft up, or the trade up, I was like, we're definitely going to get Deshaun. And then Mitchell's name falls out of the commissioner's mouth. I think at that point is when I started to map out my trade request as a Bears fan. I mean, I can truly, honestly, with my heart of hearts, say if we don't get it right with this constructed offensive staff, defensive staff, and team, then there's no way Chicago is, I feel like at that point, the Michael Jordan curse is true. We won all them titles in the 90s for us to not be in any other major sport besides hockey. Baseball title was 05. I don't count the Cubs. I'm from the South Side. If we don't get it right now, I don't think we ever get it right. I don't know, bro. It's just shocking. Chicago is such a beautiful city. So it's tough. It's just real tough.
Okay, I think that's enough pre-game pain for Bears fans. Let's get into some positives here. At what point did you know that 2018 to 2019 Bears team was going to be special?
The day before the season started, we drafted a freak of nature named Khalil Mack, and that was the initial start where I was like, oh, that Mitchell Trubisky thing might not be so bad. No, it had to be legit week 2 when we were down at Arizona and we were coming back. And that's early. A lot of people were like, oh, he's bullshit. For me, that's really how that team came together, it rallied together. And that team coming together and locking it down defensively made all the things on offense, the Kevin Williams pick, all that stuff not even matter. I mean, and during the playoff game, they showed it. We had 50 turnovers or takeaways or something like that. It was a great season. It was a great season for us. And then being able to push Green Bay the way that we did. And that's my biggest rival. I don't care about Minnesota. I don't care about Detroit. To push Green Bay the way that we did and had Aaron Rodgers actually thinking about the game when he was playing Chicago. Week 2, the middle of the season, I was like, we got something here, dude. Our defense is pushing teams to the limit. It looked like that older defense where you had to really, strap that up, strap your chin strap. Like, we really hitting here. Again, just because of the presence of Khalil Mack. And back then, again, for the avid fan, Khalil Mack right now is still that dude. Imagine when he was young, he had them young legs on him. He was a menace. It was a lot of things that when you looked at it from like afar, we were close, but not like we weren't close enough. It was just like, as a fan, the hope of, if this is how this team finished, imagine with a competent offseason what we can do. And then the Bears went and did the Bears. In the living room, my wife, ribs, mac and cheese, baked beans, it was all that. My in-laws had just got me a Christmas ornament that said, all I want for Christmas is a Bears Super Bowl. Yeah, that Christmas tree was still up. I was looking at that. I'm walking around in this jersey. I'm talking shit. And the game started. I hope you show this as I'm talking over it. If you look at all of his field goals, he was aiming for the inside of the goalpost each time. Because of how hard the wind was blowing, he had to play it towards and I'm a golfer, so like he was trying to play a draw. Every last shot, every kick was a draw, and it leaned towards the goalpost and then hooked in. Yeah, bro, it's like really talking about a breakup, Nick.
I can see the look on your face. It's like a visceral reaction of
I'm watching the game again.
Yeah, like it's playing in your mind again. And I think that's why that's why I like this series so much, is because honestly, at the core of it is showing how deep love of sports actually goes. Oh, yeah. Like this, again, I'm going to show the face, because to see a visceral reaction before I even asked about the kick, we're still talking about the drive. It got hot in my house, man. Sports fans, we love this so much. And if you're not in it, you don't get it. But we love this so much that even now, 6 years later, still you can take back to that thing. Someone brought up the helmet catch on a previous episode to me. I damn near cried right then and there.
All right. Back to the reason we're all here. We got to talk about the doink. Both of them.
Yeah. Again, seeing the draw that he was throwing, it was a little far in the wind, Chicago wind, a little cold, but Cody's been there for a while, right? Cody's a vet. Cody's done this. This is your one job. Let's go out there and kill it, right? We had Robbie Gold. So I'm thinking this is just the next Robbie Gold moment. This is your Robbie Gold moment, Cody. Cement yourself in Chicago. Hindsight being 2020, it's like, can we get him 5 more yards? Can we get him a 40-yard field goal instead of 43? Because like the wind, it was the wind that much into it. But I think it goes in. And even off the first doink, in my mind, every doink just goes right back in. It's going to fall right on the inside. Ha, ha, ha. And even the second doink, I'm like, it's going to fall backwards, because that's me. We need this. I can't even watch Netflix anymore, bro, because like I'm talking about like Netflix hurts sometimes, bro. Like it's tough being a Bears fan. You would have thought I was playing the game, because it's like on the knees, pure shot, gray. I went from being this beautiful chocolate color to being a gray person. And I think it was the one time my wife has some things like she's a sports fan, loves it. So she usually hits me with some little jogs like, damn, that sucks. Like, oh, that was crazy. The house was silent. You would have thought we lost that game. Like, she was the holder and I was the kicker, and we lost the game. It was quiet. I don't think that I had an out loud reaction until I went to my garage 20 minutes later. I'm smoking, and I was just in the garage we really lost off of has that ever happened? Has the ball ever hit the goalpost and then hit the crossbar and then come back out? I'm perplexed, and then all the texts come in. Bro, that's crazy. Bro, that's wild. Bear what? Bears down. That was tough. It was hard getting the text messages afterwards. Honestly, I don't even want to say I blame Cody, because I understand the game, bro. I do. I truly do. I blame the head coach and the offense in general who kind of dropped the ball, because I think an extra 5 yards, we get that.
But there's always next season, right? Unfortunately, this Bears team went from a 12-4 that looked promising to a dismal, mediocre 8-8. Blair, please explain to the people what happened.
Resting on what we did the year before, a lot of And I mean, we could say it was the offseason, but I think a lot of the players just didn't push hard enough. There was a mix of old players who didn't need to be read up, who were getting read up, and then young players who were hungry. So the older guys were okay and complacent with the money and the position that they were in, and the younger guys wanted to drive. We just didn't add many people in the positions that needed. So like you said, we didn't have any other player besides Allen Robinson over 40 yards. We didn't try at all to get a second receiver. We didn't try to get a tight end. We let Jordan Howard go to the Eagles, and the offensive system, I think, went into a place of, oh, we know what we're doing, and they did. Because since that team, we've not had a decent offensive line or defensive line. I wouldn't erase it because, like, we needed that to, like, come together. Like, we needed to see how up our franchise was. Because from that moment, we saw Matt Nagy wasn't the guy. When got Matt Eberflus, he wasn't the guy. I think with this staff, the names that are attached to the staff makes me a lot more hopeful that in the next 5 years, the Bears, if not are in a Super Bowl, we are Super Bowl contending in the next 5 years.
So after 40 plus years of QB purgatory and lackluster defenses, playoff failures, and this sports scarring moment, is Blair still hopeful for his Bears this upcoming season?
Are you?
Oh my God, yes. So yeah, I am more than excited for the season this year. I think all things said in this episode, ups and downs, Chicago is still such a great place to be. And if you win in Chicago, you win in Chicago. Like, Joakim Noah is still that Chicago for a reason. Ronnie Brewer is still that Chicago for a reason. And you gotta know if you know. Ronnie Brewer is that dude. Kirk Heinrich, Ronnie Brewer. Like, we really do. We have the love of like a college town in Chicago. So if you can win here, we're just gonna blow you up. Pause.
Thank you so much, Blair, for coming on. Thank you to all Bears fans who managed to make it this far in the video. Sorry for making you relive that. But we are going to end it on a positive note for this episode's post-credit scene.
For me, it means more to be a Bears fan because your team hasn't been here for 100 years. Your team hasn't been here for 100 years. You don't have George Halas, Papa Bear, as the guy. Like, we got Papa Bear, we got Dick Butkus, we got Mike Ditka, Mike Singletary. Like, the greatest linebackers are from the Midwest, are from my city. And it's insane that we haven't had anything since '85 to show that we are a football town. So hopefully Caleb's gotten out of his guys and he wants to be in Chicago because that light-skinned boy can win there. And I think him and Rome are going to have a great season this year.